Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery. Trauma recovery. Toxic recovery. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. I'm sick of abusive, narcissistic relationships. Sick of emotional trips. Sick of the lies that roll off your lips. Play me like some type of script. Gaslight me to keep me in grips. Time to cut ties and quit with the snip. Ready to get on the path of toxic recovery. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. You said it was love and all of your above, but you wanna suffer, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Toxic recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, yeah. You said it was love and all of the above, but you wanna suffer. Trauma recovery, yeah. Trauma recovery, toxic recovery, trauma recovery, toxic recovery, toxic recovery, toxic recovery, yeah.
Disclaimer. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and I often refer to toxic narcissists and general abusers as delusional, crazy, and mentally unstable. A, because if anyone should be described as this, it's these types. And B, because when we're in these toxic, narcissistic, or generally abusive dynamics, we often give their behavior far too much respect, which keeps us in the cycle for longer. It is my hope that my mocking of their behavior encourages you to take that respect away. Now, if you've been diagnosed with a general mental health condition, please know that at no point am I mocking or talking about you. I consider that to be a separate issue that I take very seriously. And with that being said, let's get into it. Hello. So today, hey, I'm awake. I'm awake. I love that title. Hi, thank you for joining. Guys, we're going to be talking about Candace Owens and this Blake Lively situation. I call Candace Owens the mother of misinformation. And I've had an issue with her. You know, I don't really follow Candace Owens, to be fair. So guys, if you follow her, please do chip in and let me know your thoughts about the situation. Of course, give me the other side of the coin. That is fine. Let me know your thoughts. I'm excited to be catching the live. I'm excited you are catching the live. Amazing. Right. Yeah. So I've had a problem with Candace because really what jumped out to me before I heard a lot of stories about Candace being this, that, and the third, didn't really pay much attention. But the Conor McGregor situation, that really got my attention. Yeah, because her video about why he was innocent was, to me, just utterly disgusting. I didn't have time at the time to do a video about it. So if you've been a subscriber of mine and you follow my community, you would have seen the very long post I did dissecting. You know what? I should have just made a video, really, to be fair, writing all of that down, dissecting everything that she said was diabolically awful. And now again, with this situation, someone does something one time, I'm not going to take that and just smear their name the whole time, regardless of what I'm hearing in the background. So I saw that and was like, yeah, that was not it, Candace, and just moved along. Now, with this situation, once again, I am seeing her being a alleged perpetrator, because we don't know that he is a perpetrator. Let's be fair. Alleged perpetrator apologist. And why I say this is because she seems to just be either giving us misinformation or blatantly lying or twisting things in order for it to suit the Mr. Baldoni agenda. Now, basically, she's biased, which is fine, but say that. I'm always one for saying that. I'm on this channel and I am here advocating for women, whether that be, just in general, advocating for women, whatever the situation is, whether that be abuse against another woman or a man or whatever the situation might be, because I'm not here saying that women don't abuse. That's not what I'm saying. A lot of people think that just because of my platform. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I advocate for women because 99.9% of the time, if it's between a man and a woman being abused, it is the man perpetrating against the woman, right? That is just what it is. That's not my opinion. Those are the statistics. Those are the facts. Okay, so I'm always going to advocate there. But that's, like I said, not excluding the fact that women can abuse. I'm just here advocating for us women who are dying every 11 minutes, quite frankly, at the hands of men. Okay, right. That being said, you know that when you come onto my platform, when you watch my videos, whatever, I'm always going to be, if there is any way that it is possible that it is true, I'm going to be supporting her in raising that voice, sounding that alarm, and speaking what she feels is her truth. Now, if in that there's evidence that says not manipulation or smear campaigns or Davo, I know that when I see it, right? If there's solid evidence to suggest that, yeah, maybe this woman is making it up, which is less than 2% of the people that accuse. And even in that 2%, they have found that on closer observation, when they did a study, that actually they weren't lying at all. But we'll just keep it moving, right? So even in those cases where we find that that person is lying, I'm prepared to accept that. But I need to see the evidence. I'm going to need you to give me the cold, hard truth, right? Not manipulation, cold, hard truth. And as soon as I start seeing manipulation, I'm going to be looking at you sideways. Guys, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is a discussion. This is why it's live. If I wanted to just say my point and have no feedback, I just post a video, right? So guys, let me know your thoughts as I'm talking about this. She truly has the worst take. She does. I'm literally just like, how does that make sense, sweetie? Like, what? The Conor McGregor situation. The woman had to have bits surgically removed from her body after being attacked. Not being too graphic, right? And she's still out here going, well, you know, she lied and it's just like, girl. I can't go through all the bits and pieces of that one. Go check out my community tab if you really want to know the back and forth that I did with that. I basically pulled it to pieces. But we're going to do the same. Well, yeah, I just listened to it and was just like, yeah, no, that's not. And it's not because, I'm not arguing this because she is against Blake Lively in the situation. That is not what I'm arguing against. What I'm arguing against is the way that she presents it. It's not adding up. That's my problem. If you have an opinion, I need your opinion to, you know what I mean? The evidence that you give to support that opinion to add up, or else I'm going to have to say something, especially if you are coming against someone who says she's been victimized. Especially if you're going to do it about randomness, I'm just going to be like, okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense, moving along. But if you're going to come against someone who says, a woman who says she's been victimized, I'm going to need you to I'm going to need you to make some sense, right? So this is why I'm here talking about this now, because a lot of what she says, it ain't adding up. I have to believe it's all a gift to make money. She mostly spews nonsense. Yeah, but here's the thing. She's also a Trump supporter. And though I'm from the UK, I despise Trump. I obviously, with everything that I do, cannot stand behind anybody who is Trump associated, right? So here again, I have a side eye on what she's doing, because apparently her plan is to be the voice for women. Please, God, no. I saw a post about it and I was like, absolutely not. You're going to have a Trump mouthpiece, because that's what she's doing. She's being a perpetrator apologist at this point. It's what, right? Once again, she's finding ways to make the alleged perpetrator right. But anyway, let's get into it. First point, guys, tell me your thoughts about it. If you think it makes sense, if you love it, I like it. Or you like it, I love it. Type thing. It's fine. We're not going to get into a huge heated war about this. I'm going to tell you my points. You can tell me yours. Please at least try to make it make sense so that we can have an ongoing discussion. So AKA, if you're a troll, you might want to sit this one out. But let's get into it. All right. So the first thing she said, which got me kind of like, okay, because this is what I'm doing. I'm always, forever running narratives through to the end. Like, if someone says something to me, even if I am on the side of whatever side I'm on, I'm always going to run the narrative that they say through to the end to see if it makes sense. Because if it makes sense, I'm going to be like, pause. Let's put that into my data and see where it lands, right? So I'm always running narratives through. A lot of people think because I think a certain way or I'm on a certain side that I just dismiss everything that comes against it. That is not the way of a wise person. You can't do that and be, knowing what you're talking about. You have to look at the opposition. You have to look at what they're saying in order to really make a clear judgment on what you actually think. That's the balanced, critical way of thinking, right? So again, I'm always running the narratives through to the end. She says that Blake got everything she wanted because she threatened to go to the New York Times with her harassment story. All right. So then I'm like, okay, so if she got everything she wanted, she just basically running it all the way through. She got everything that she wanted. She threatened him with the New York Times and she got everything that she wanted. So now why did she go to the New York Times? I'm confused, right? And you could argue that, okay, it was a negative press. That's why she went to the New York Times, because, she was getting negative press about her. You could argue that. Got it. So I'm thinking, okay, but let's look at the negative press. So the negative press was about two things mainly: the way that she promoted the movie and the bump story. This is the way that I understand it, right? Fill me in the comments if I'm missing something. These were the strongest one was the way that she promoted the movie. Now, again, there was that whole thing around the alcohol, and then there was the thing around grab your florals, blah, blah, blah. It was just too lightweight. Now, the alcohol thing, that was all her. The promotion of the alcohol and the promotion of whatever, I think she did a makeup range or something, that was her. And okay, fair enough. She was taking her direction from Sony and the company. This was her argument. She was taking direction from Sony and the company. And if you read her complaint, it does say in there that the company decided how they were going to promote the thing, right? And everybody was going to promote it the same way. And it was supposed to be lighthearted. They weren't supposed to talk about DV at all. It was not supposed to be a mention. They were supposed to be lighthearted. So the makeup thing, yeah. Okay, I can see her doing that and trying to make it lighthearted. The alcohol thing, no, that was your bad, Blake. Yeah, I got nothing for you on that. That's all you, right? But the makeup thing, I can see how she was like, oh, bubbly, bubbly, girly, girly, flowers, da 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 da, right? I can see how that could work out. So her problem with the bad press when it came to the promotion was that she was told to do that, right? So she went to, let's run this through, because she went to Baldoni, who's apparently being bullied by her all the way through to the point where he signed literally a confession saying that he did what he did. Well, yeah, the points were lined out. And he basically was like, okay, I acknowledge the points. How are we going to fix it? These are the steps. Okay, I agreed to take these steps and stop doing what I was doing before. Signed. That's what happened, right? So, but apparently he did that under duress because he was just so bullied by her. He was so bullied by her. He basically confessed to sexual harassment, but okay, right? Fine. We'll just roll with that. So then he was so bullied that when he gave her everything, right? But then when she said that, hey, look, this isn't fair. I'm getting like all of this harassment for doing what you guys said that I should do. So can everybody just come out and tell everyone that this is what that we were all supposed to be doing this? Because I'm getting it in the neck, and come on, it's not fair. And Baldoni, who wants only the best for her, right? And he's just been bullied the whole way through, said no. Jog on, that's it. That's what he did. And she said, listen, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to take this as retaliation, because my name is getting dragged out here, and you basically set me up because I did what you told me to do. Now I'm getting dragged, and I'm asking you to come forward and say, hey, our bad, and apologize together, and you're saying no. So if you're going to continue to say no and stand by and watch me get dragged, we're going to have a problem. Like, I'm going to take this as a retaliation that you said that you were not going to do based on the complaint that I made, which I think is fair. Right? Because if you're being bullied, wouldn't that be like the natural thing? Okay, Blake, no problem. We're going to all come out and say it because that's what happened. Right? So you were getting so bullied that even though she had a point and you did actually tell her to do that, you refused to clear it up. But you were so bullied that you had to sign a legal document that basically gave away some of your power in the production process, because you were that bullied. But then when it came down to you actually just coming forward and speaking the truth, you weren't bullied enough for that. No? Right. Got it. Do you see what I mean? Like, we're following this all the way through. You would think that would be the easiest thing. You gave her everything, including your entire movie, because you were so bullied. But then when she asked you to stand up and tell the truth, you can't. Huh? I can't connect these dots. So again, if she got everything that she wanted, and everything was just rosy, why did she go to the New York Times? And if it was because of the negative press, again, why did she have to go to the New York Times? Because you were giving her everything she wanted, right? Because you were just that bullied. You were like that victim. So again, dots are not connecting for me. Guys, let me know your points. Grift. What do you mean, grift? Let me know what you mean by grift. Truly, yeah. Let me know your points about that. That's my first point. I was like, yeah, not adding up. Next point. Here's what she says next. So she basically, apparently she did this because she is under the influence of proximity of Taylor Swift. And this is what Candace said herself out of her own mouth. She recognizes the brand of feminism. Isn't that interesting that she would say that? She recognizes the brand of it. So apparently, she did all of this for her ego, apparently. This is what Candace is saying. She has put her career on the line, her husband's career on the line, and everybody else's career on the line by the looks of it, because they're going after everybody because of her ego. Is this what we're supposed to believe? Like, she's so egoic that she did that, and she's never done that before, mind you. It's not come out. Like, in all her years, she's never taken anyone to court for this, ever. But on this occasion, she does, and this is because this is what she does, because she's just got this big ego that no one's ever seen before. Are we okay? Now, and then the thing is interesting, her terminology here, when she says she recognizes the brand of feminism. It's not interesting, because in Blake's complaint, she said that Nathan, because remember, they had a whole smear campaign planned, and one of the parts of the smear campaign was to plant stories about weaponization of feminism, her weaponization of feminism. And then here's Candace talking about she recognizes her brand of feminism. Do you think I think that's strange. Do you not? I think that's strange, because that's right out of the smear campaign playbook that Blake literally outlined in her complaint. So what? Again, now she's saying that she's basically, of course, Blake is weaponizing her feminism to make herself look like the victim. You know, this is basically what she's saying, which, again, straight out the handbook. What are you guys saying? In my earlier comment, I was noting that she is a grifter. Autocorrect. Right, got it. Yeah, she is. I think so. No, I think it goes deeper than that. I think it goes deeper than her just being a grifter, because of the whole Trump connection, and also the way that she's just apologizing or making excuses for alleged perpetrators every time. I feel like she's a Trump mouthpiece. I feel like she's a Trump I'm sorry, I do. I'm just like, I feel like you are like the mouthpiece to influence the masses on these deranged and distorted perceptions of women and targets of abuse, quite frankly. This is what I'm thinking. But okay, we'll go with grifter. But I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, I just think it's more than that. Because isn't it just a bit of a coincidence that this was part of their thing? And here we have her planting the idea of her weaponizing her feminism in her take on the likely Blake Lively and Justin situation. I think that's interesting. Right? And her point is that Taylor Swift is basically weaponizes feminism and plays the victim, and so is Blake now. That was her point. But I thought that was just interesting as a statement to make, considering what we read in her complaint. It's not that far into her complaint either. It's like that. They also, in that same area, were talking about, I couldn't find it, but I did a whole video about it before. If you go through my videos on Blake Lively, I think it's in the Blake Lied video, I spoke about all the different ways in which they basically plan to hammer her. And one was to discredit Ryan Reynolds, and another one was to talk about the powerful people, friends in her network, Mean Girls. That was the whole play. So I find it interesting the way that they are positioning this whole city. They are literally just doing the play. Even though we read the complaint, we're seeing it play out. This is my interpretation of it. Because what? Where's your evidence that she's weaponizing feminism? I mean, she doesn't say those words, but, you know, she recognizes the brand of feminism, and then she talks about, you know, Taylor playing victim. You can put the pieces together, right? So she's implying that they're weaponizing feminism. So where's the meat and bones to support that statement? Love. Especially about Blake at this time. I didn't see any meat and bones to support what she was saying, which is why it was implied rather than directly said, I think. Also, in order to plant the seeds rather than her have to make a statement that she can't back up. Next point. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let YouTube know that you enjoy the content, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, please, as we are talking. Next point. Now, this one is a doozy, woozy. Now, she uses Ryan Reynolds. She says that Blake used Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift to bully, and the Khaleesi text. I want to talk about this because I've seen this going back and forth, round and up and down and around the houses about this Khaleesi nonsense. And I just think, in context of the fact that they were getting on at the time, I don't think it was a threat. And also, we're going to look at the thing, which is right here. We're going to talk about that. Because now that we've seen, thanks to Baldoni and his baloney, we've seen him apologizing to Blake for not taking it more seriously, whilst at the same time saying he totally took it seriously anyway, which is interesting. Go watch the video after this. I won't go into it here. The point is, in that audio, he was basically apologizing and also saying how she has got a great support network around her, right? Because they kind of came in, were like, I think it's good. She think, basically in the meeting they had, apparently, I don't know how much of this I should be taken seriously, because Baloney moves the goalposts and takes things out of context and just basically implies and does a lot of dancing around. So, you know, you can get lost in the source of his nonsense. But apparently they had a meeting, and the meeting was at the home or whatever. I'm not sure that's even the case, but this is what Baloney says. And Ryan Reynolds asked him about it and said that he liked it. And then apparently Taylor Swift came in to the meeting at one point because she came to the house and said that she liked it. And he took that as intimidation. I don't see that as intimidation. I don't see that as intimidation. Especially coming from a place where you are co-owner with a billionaire and have all the power you need to do whatever the hell you want. I don't see that as intimidation. It's not like you're talking to small old Joe around the corner that doesn't have any power, like me walking in there and being like, oh, I got a script, and everyone's saying, oh, well, I think that you should, and you're like, oh, okay. That's not what that was, okay? They painted it like that, but I don't see it as that. They were on even footing ground. He has a lot of support, clearly. He's suing one company for $250 million, and suing Blake Lively and her husband, who had literally nothing to do with it, but okay, for $400 million. So clearly you have contacts. Please, let's stop that nonsense, right? So in that context, I don't see her friend and her husband saying they thought it was a good script as anything intimidating. I think that's natural for them to say as the friend and the husband, especially when they were in their own home. You know, the husband was in his home. That's a gray area for me. Maybe it does depend on how it was said, because, they can do these covert things and be like, I really liked it. And there can be tones and intonations that really put the pressure on. So I can understand that, and I can give room for that. But just on the surface, I don't see that. I don't see that as bullying. I see it as your friends and family supporting you, really. And also, in the message, again, he says that he was bullied. In the audio, he says that he was bullied, yet in the audio, he talks about how vulnerable she was with him. Does not equal, I was bullied into taking on the script. The girl was vulnerable with you, and you have now twisted that into her bullying you and using her forces to do, huh? Because apparently in that conversation, you understood that the intent was not malicious because of your responses. Go watch the video if you don't believe me. I did the whole thing on it, right? Based on his responses, it was clear to him, because he kept thanking her for being so vulnerable, that she wasn't actually being aggressive and being bully and being all of that stuff. This is what I can read from what he said out of his own mouth and the way that he said it, right? So yeah, we can go ahead and put that away. So now I want to know when this message about Khaleesi was sent, because I feel like this would be a natural response to his very long apology at 2 a.m. in the morning, I think. So now I want to know, okay, when did she send this? Because we know it was in the early stages when they were getting along, but then so was the script situation. That was in the early stages when they were getting along, right? That's why she was being vulnerable with him and being like, oh, I've had people treat me like and not take it really seriously before, and I was basically disappointed that you did the same thing. So yeah, and we worked on it and my friends liked it, and that's the way that she came across, pretty much like that. So I think this would be a good response, lighthearted, hey, we're still friends, hey, you can come in. That would be a good response to the situation. That would have been, if we're going by Mr. Baldoni's track record, twisted and misrepresented as something else when time comes, which time has clearly come. This is what I think has happened, but we're going to read it and we're going to go through it. Let's read this. What would the consequences have been for him if he didn't accurate? Exactly. To her demand. Exactly. I truly can't think of a logical reason why he didn't feel like he could push back. Exactly. There is no logical reason. I'm like, why do you sign documents that confirm that you did actually SH her? Because she didn't want her to leave, but she was a pain in the butt. So that makes no sense. Like she was a spoiled brat that was hard to work with, that you just couldn't wait to get rid of. And then when she says, I'm going to leave if you don't do it, apparently that was a big deal. Like a month and a half in, big deal, to the point where you're going to be like, I did all the things that you said. I'm so sorry. What? Making dots are not connecting. Again, for me, I'm going to need you to make that make sense. Yeah. How did you get bullied into admitting that you were sexually harassing, for a start? And then how did you get bullied here based on her being vulnerable? How did you get bullied into taking on her script? I'm confused at this point. Exactly. What would have been the consequences? She moved it. She didn't do it. She didn't do the movie. Is she the last actor on the planet? And everyone's like, oh no, but they wanted to finish the film. Do you know how many films are put on the shelf in Hollywood that don't get finished? Or that get delayed? They had how many strikes in that time? So the film was delayed anyway. They could have replaced her at any point and just been like, you know what? It's going to be another delay. That's fine. We're just going to put that here and we're just going to get another actor and then just rerun this in a couple of months. Like, come on now. Come on now. I just want to know what the power was that was so great that he was going to do all of that, but then not do the right thing when she asked him to about the smear campaign situation. I don't know. This seems to be selective bullying to me. Selective. But let's look at this Khaleesi thing. It reads, the text message she sent, which I believe was sent as a response to his 2 a.m. or somewhere along the lines in connection to that 2 a.m. apology, right? Where he was basically love bombing the crap out of her. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be with you. I want all of you. Like if there were blurred lines. Like you don't need to go into I want all of you. That's very intimate girlfriend, boyfriend talk that you're giving right there. What are you talking about? And okay, he can be like, I'm a hippy dippy spiritual person, but those hippy dippy spiritual people can also be spiritually and hippy dippily abusive. Okay? All the time. They use the spiritual card to push past boundaries, manipulate and abuse you. So him being a spiritual person is not working in his favor in my mind at this point. Because you've been accused of SH already. And you're bringing the spiritual card, the two don't really meet. They don't meet, they don't match. So you being accused and that, it's not working for me. It's not working for me. Guys, tell me in the comments what you think, because that's not a good look. But okay, all right? So anyway, it reads, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, never watched it, sorry guys, I've not actually seen it, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi. And like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. Does that sound like a threat? Like, you know what? Yeah, these are my supporters, because remember he was going on about, oh my God, you got some great friends, or the best friends. So she's like, yeah, they are my best friends. I'm like Khaleesi, and these are my dragons. They fight for me. They'll protect me. But you know the good thing about it, though? We all band together, and we will fight for each other in times, right? Meaning, you come on board, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if I consider you a friend, they consider you a friend, and we fam, basically, is what she's saying right here. I don't understand. Okay, you could flip it and say, well, if you're not fam, then, you know, they're going to come up against you. But yeah, I'm not getting that from this. I'm not getting that vibe. Maybe it's in the subtext and I need the other bits of information. But as it stands right here, I'm not. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. Yes, exactly. Right? We all found we're all going to benefit. It's amazing. Yeah, they supported me. I love them to bits. And I'm glad that you like them too. Because remember, he was gushing in the apology video about what great supportive friends she has. So her coming back with this would not be threatening. It would be like, oh, I'm glad you love them too, because they fight for me and they'll fight for you. This is what I'm getting from what this reads. Especially if it was sent in response or somewhere around the conversation where he was apologizing about the script. And I think it was because she's gushing about her friends, and he had already gushed about the friends in the audio. So if you put the bits and pieces together, Mr. Baldoni doesn't like to give context to anything that he gives. He just likes to drop them in and make it look bad. But if you put the bits together, that makes sense to me. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but that's how I interpret that. You will too. I can promise you that. So that's it. We all benefit from gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too. I can promise you. So there you have it. At the end, she's like, we're all fam. You will benefit from these guys too. They're amazing. I love them. I'm glad that you love them. Amazing. We're on board. We're doing the script. Good times. This is what I get from that. Tell me what you get from that. Correct me in the comments if you think that's wrong and you know the context at which it came in, and you can tell me, but correct me. I wish we could do screenshots here. I wish that would just bring so much more to the discussion. But correct me and just to give me your points in the comments if you think that is just not, that doesn't make sense to you, right? So Baldoni asserts, so I think this text was taken out of context, like he does with pretty much everything that we've discussed so far. Watch my other videos where he purposely takes things out of context and then puts it in as this big smoking gun, right? So he's twisted the narrative, and I said here, see the audio video that I did. I think this would be a natural response to his very apologetic 2 a.m. Voice note, is what I think. And they were on good terms at this point, right? She was being open, he was being fake open, like narcissists and abusers do. And they were having a relationship, apparently. Right? A platonic one, obviously, but professional, but friendship as well, which is what she was inviting him into the fold of with this text. And I think he understood that to be that at the time, but then, made it into something else later, as toxic narcissists and abusers will do. Everything you say will be used against you in the court of narcissists. Okay? Everything. Anyway, right. So Baldoni asserts that this is evidence in a reply where he claims he felt obliged to text her saying he would. So basically he's saying from this, he felt, exactly, this is my point. From this, he felt obliged to text her and say that he was going to take on her thing. I don't think that makes sense. What I think makes sense is that you laughed in her face. She basically said, listen, I don't appreciate you laughing in my face, X, Y, and Z. I just worked really hard on that. My friends liked it. Da, 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 da. You came back with an apology because you decided to find yourself. Okay. I was like, actually, yeah, maybe I should not disrespect her and laugh in her face like that because she does have some support. Right? Because narcissists and abusers and toxics like to have you with no support whatsoever. So if you have support, they have to kind of tiptoe around for a bit longer before they can really break you down and make you feel like crap, like he continued to do later on, but we'll get into that. They're like the ocean hitting against the rocks, corroding the rocks with the salt water, with the salt, right? This is what they do. So he backed off because he's like, oh, okay, no, I went too far there. I need to come back, self-correct, so that I can keep myself in the game, right? This is what they do. This is what I think happened. This is what, because otherwise this doesn't make sense. Like, she sent you the script. You said something, right? You said that you would use it, but no bad thing about it. Then she sent you this and you felt obliged to take it on. All right. So when did the audio come into it? My theory is he laughed in her face. She told him she wasn't having none of it because I think that's really disrespectful. We worked really hard. He sent the voice note at 2 a.m. as an apology, and then she sent this as a reply, and everything was gravy. This is what I think happened. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section about that's how I think it went. But naturally, these toxics, these narcissists, these abusers will twist the story and make it whatever they want and use whatever happened and shift it to fit another narrative that doesn't really even make sense. Like I said, if this was the conversation, that don't make sense. She gave you the thing and then and you said you'll use it, and then she sent you this. And you were like, oh, okay, I'll just use it. What? No, I'm not buying that. Come on, love. Get on with that nonsense. So he says, so in the Baldoni complaint, lawsuit, blah, blah, whatever that was, fantasy fiction novel, as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let me get serious. All right. So in the Baldoni claim lawsuit, he basically showed text messages between him and his team where he spoke about her bullying him. That's not proof of anything. Toxic narcissists and abusers spin these kind of narratives all the time in order to triangulate with other people. They do it for many, many reasons. So him having a conversation with someone that's bought his bull crap about her bullying him does not prove that they were bullying him. That does not at all. He could easily, because he doesn't want to admit to the fact that he did the whole SH thing, he could easily have just been like, oh, yeah, they're just being mean and I'm just so nice, so I'm just going to go along with it, even though they have everything on me and I did do the thing. I'm not going to admit that, so I'm just going to tell everyone that they're bullying me. So they pick up the narrative of bullying. It's a basic ABC situation. Was sent before the voicemail. Apparently so. This is what he's saying. This is what he's trying to say. But then I don't believe it. Where was the date on that? Where's the date on the voicemail? Here's my thing. Are you taking his word for the fact that he sent it? The voicemail was sent, the text message was sent before the voicemail. Some men only respect. What are the dates? Because I know that he doesn't show dates, times. The voicemail, what date was that sent? Text message, what date was that? Do you know what I mean? He just gives you random stuff. So he can say, like I just said, he'll say it's before. No, I think it was on the text. I'm Team Blake, by the way. No problem. You think it was on the text. I don't know what you mean. No, I think it was on the text. The voicemail was on the text. Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm not sure. What's the date? Is what I'm saying. Like, give me the dates for... No, the time was on the text. Okay, so what was the time on the text is what I'm saying. Because here's the thing. Time and the date, not just the time. A lot of his text messages don't have dates. Also, we're going to need the date for the audio in order to correlate and confirm that that came afterwards. Otherwise, I think he's lying. That's what I think. Because it doesn't really even make sense this way. It doesn't even make sense this way. Like running it through. 1:49, I believe. Came this text or the audio? The text, I think. But you're right. It kind of doesn't make sense. Exactly, that's my point. So I'm like, if you run it through, that literally is, it's like, what? So she just sent that weirdo text and you were like, oh my God, okay, I'll just, what? Because that's not even threatening. So, and then you were like, oh my God, yeah, I'll take your thing. I just feel pressured. No, that doesn't make sense. So if it was the other way, it makes sense. She said the thing that she said, not acceptable. He sent the audio to say, yeah, so sorry, I didn't handle that the right way, which makes sense because you didn't, and your friends are amazing, and which makes sense. And then her responding with, yeah, this Game of Thrones, that makes sense to me, right? Because now we're making up. It's not a bad situation. We're not in a bad place. You've already apologized. You love my friends. You get where they were coming from. And now I'm saying we're all fam. They'll fight for you too. This is how I think it goes. The other way, she's crazy. The other way. Like what? And why would you even respond to that? Like, what is there to respond to? It's like, okay. This is before I've apologized, Vine. Okay. Put it into perspective. It's like you get this text message, you just be like, all right. All right, love. And what are you actually trying to say? Because I said I'd use it at some point, and you just came with this mystic, la, 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 la. And of course, he would say it played out like that because it makes her look weird, like a weirdo. So of course he's going to do it like that. But if we, like I said, I need dates, I need times. Tell me the time at which the audio was done and show me, because that's the lovely thing about Blake's complaint. It has dates and times. You can see it to the second. This person said this, that person said that, that person said that date, this date, that date, this date. Very comprehensive. This guy's just like, boom, Maybe I'll put a time on it. Maybe I won't. Boom. Maybe I'll put a date on it. Maybe I won't. Boom. Here's an audio. You don't know when it was said, but there you go. Here's my receipts. This is what I find like so disturbing about his ongoing receipt releasing. It's like, how are we supposed to put that into context? Yeah, her complaint is very polished and clear. Yeah, extremely hard to read his. Exactly, that's my point. I'm just like, how are we, like, when you go to a court of law, you have to put things in context before you even bring it to the judge. But apparently the court of public opinion can just sort it out. We're just gonna know because, yeah. It's not, right? So this in itself doesn't even make sense. So this gives me the idea that he's trying to spin the narrative. That's what that does. I think he sent the audio, she sent this text afterwards, and everything was fine and everyone was okay. This is what I think. But anyway, and if you think about it again, so back to Candace, basically, in the situation, because this is the thing. She's using Ryan Reynolds, she's using Taylor Swift to bully, and then there's a Khaleesi text. But then she neglects to see how Ryan Reynolds, Colleen Hoover, Liz Plank, New York Times, Disney, and Blake are being literally annihilated by this whole complaint in the public eye. You don't see that there's bullying, Candace, not at all. You don't see Colleen Hoover's Instagram being blitzed with negative comments, accusations, and stuff to the point where she took her page down as an issue. And you see that. You don't see Liz Blank being harassed and told this, that, and the third, and how she's this disgusting person because she stopped working with Blake, who she knows, with Baldoni, who she knows personally and had been doing a podcast with for a long time before quitting her job and leaving herself without any money in order to stand against something. But she did all of that, and then she's getting harassed. But you don't see that as a problem. You don't see the fact that the New York Times is getting sued for $250 million by this apparently D-list celebrity with no power at all, who's collaborating with people to do it. That's fine. This is absolutely fine, right? Because Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift were used to bully him. What is happening? Then we've got Disney, being thrown into the mix because Ryan Reynolds dared to say something in code before the lawsuit ever came to pass, because remember, the filming happened before the lawsuit ever came to pass, without mentioning any names or anything. So let's think about this. Had Baldoni had actually just done what he was supposed to do, which was tell the truth and say, like, look, we all agreed to do this thing, then no one would have known about the SH, and then the Deadpool comment, which apparently is what, everybody's going on about, no one would know what that was about. So I don't understand how bullying happens like that. But okay, right? That's fine. All of this bullying right here by poor little Baldoni who was bullied is fine. But these two being friends and acting like friends to their friend and to his wife, unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. That's intimidation. And what is going on? Like, what are we watching? Like, did she actually say this for real? Like, it's insane to me. The funny thing is that we have metadata that proves that Baldoni leaked the complaint to the media, to TMZ, before the New York article was even published. Really? I didn't know this. I don't know this. Yeah, he sent it at 2 a.m. in the morning, but I don't think we have a date. Exactly. And that is my point. Exactly. Galilea, I think it is, said his team the team is saying that he sent the voicemail at 2 a.m. in the morning, but I don't think we have a date. Exactly. That's my point. So we don't know which came first, blah, 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 right? 2 a.m. in the morning at some time. Oh, well, thanks for that, Baldoni. Or should we say Mr. Baloney? Thank you for such accurate details. We know exactly where to put that now in our understanding of what happened. And that is why I don't like, this is another reason why I think he's guilty. Because toxic narcissists and abusers thrive in the space of ambiguity. They don't do clear at all. If you watch any of my videos, it's not even related to this. I'm not moving the goalposts. This is the type of thing that they do. If you watch another one of my videos, I would have said it somewhere in there too, about them just being in a ambiguous place where they can just move things around and just not be very clear about dates and times or when this happened or when that happened. They just put things in and just make implications so you connect the dots in the way that they want you to connect the dots. And if it doesn't work for them, they'll just shift it and tell you that's not what they said. That's not what they said. That's not what they meant. They meant this. That happened. It was a Thursday, not the Wednesday. What are you talking about? Why do you think that? Nobody said that type thing. Right? If you've ever been with this type of person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Guys, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. There's a guy that's doing the Lord's work on Threads and actually found the metadata about the complaint being late. Oh, if I remember his name, I'll tell you. I need to think about that because that has just dropped a bomb. If they leaked it, his Baldoni leaked Blake's complaint. Is this what you're saying? I'm going to need to think on that before I comment. I mean, I'm going with this narrative, but I'm going to have to, they did. Okay, I'm going with this narrative for now, but I might have to do an updated video later on to kind of like put that into perspective. I can't process that at the moment. Wow. Okay, so if he did that, why would he do that? What was the explanation for why he did that? Let's just say, if he did that, let's go with that. What was his explanation? I'll find the video and maybe send it to you. Yes, please. Yes, please. Because I want to know what the explanation was based on this person who posted it for why he would leak it first. Part of the smear? No. To re-victimize himself. That's tricky. I'm not sure. Let me carry on with this. So next point. Yes, send me the video. Are you on Threads? Are you on Instagram? Find Angelina Lewis Official is my Instagram handle. Find me there. Send me the information, and I will pick it up and do something around that. Definitely do an update Interesting though. Thank you. Now, this other thing she had another theory. So she's bullying. She's like weaponizing feminism. She's making herself the victim. La 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 la. Next point. Candace says that she's doing this. She is destroying her career. Now, okay, you can think, well, maybe she didn't know that was going to happen. Well, she does now. She knows it's going to happen. She knows it's happening now, right? She knows she's being dragged. She knows her husband's being dragged. She knows anybody who supports her is being dragged. Isn't that convenient? Right, because the toxic narcissist and abuser will find the most powerful, I'm going to do a video about that anyway, but they will find the most powerful people around you, the most influential people around you, and dismantle that network so that you don't have anyone. So this is what I see happening here in this situation, because every supporter that she has, a powerful one, is being targeted. Now Taylor Swift is being brought into this. What? She had a passing conversation with him one time, saying, oh, yeah, that was good. And now and people are saying that she's backing away from it. And girl said that she didn't want to be involved in it from the beginning. From the very, very, very beginning, before when the complaint hit the tabloids and her name was mentioned at one time, even in Blake Lively's complaint, she was like, keep me out of it. I don't want to be a part of it. So people saying right now that, oh, she's backing away because she sees and she doubts. No, she never wanted to be a part of it in the beginning. And that was a smart move to make, because she didn't want, A, her fans getting involved, B, her name being dragged into something that she didn't want to be. Business, from a business point of view, I get it, right? It's like, nah, You just, that's not, I don't, right? So, but she's been dragged into it anyway. Every one of her main hitters is being hit with something. I think that's weird. But anyway, according to Candace, she did this because she wanted the sequel to the movie. Now, I have heard this a billion times. And I've just been like, I don't even see how what has her putting in a lawsuit for SH got to do with her trying to get the movie sequel? Now, a few people enlightened me on the morality clause. Apparently, there's a morality clause. I don't know how true this is, because as far as I know, there's a lot of lies flying around. But apparently, there's this morality clause. Now, Mr. Baldoni owns the rights to the sequel, right? Colleen Hoover, they did a thing, right? As in a business thing. And rights were exchanged and he owns the rights. Now, the only way, apparently, to get out of this contract is through this morality clause, where if he did something really bad, morally unjust, right, that contract could be broken, right? So this is, I think, where Candace is going with this whole she wants the sequel thing. This is why she put in the lawsuit. But I'm thinking to myself, well, let's run that all the way through. If that is the case, then we wouldn't even be here discussing this, because he literally signed legal documents to say he would stop doing and action certain points that were to correct his inappropriate behavior that were constituted to sexual harassment. He signed that. So that is basically him saying that, yeah, that's what happened and he's sorry and he's going to make changes. So you already did the morally incorrect thing. And when did she have that signed so that they could go back to work? She had that signed. And of course, he said that he didn't see it and he didn't see the list and blah, 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 blah. But then we did a video about that on the Blake Lively thing, where he basically sent emails saying that he appreciates her complaint, which apparently he didn't see. Makes no sense, right? He's lying. Basically, short story. Watch that video after this to get the details on that. But my point is, with that legal document alone, which he basically gave away some of his power in order to, when he signed it, she could have taken that sequel based on the fact that he did X, Y, and Z. And then he basically said, okay, I'm going to fix it. Yeah, okay, we're going to take actions to make sure that those things never happen again. That alone, she didn't have to come out to the public. She could have been like, Carlene, here's the thing, let's go to court. And if this, and then there are people saying, well, you know, he signed it under duress because they were bullying him. Okay, if that's the case, then why aren't they in court about the legal document and why it was valid so she could get the rights to the sequel? Why is she in court arguing something that is very hard to prove in a court of law anyway? Like SA, SH, all of that stuff, very hard, very ambiguous. Why would she go and do that, which is not related to it at all, when she could just be like, here's the documents, here's the signing, here's all the things involved. Look, just the documents, none of the other stuff, none of the smear campaign, none of that. You don't have to do any of that. You can just be like, look, he was morally unjust. Blah, signature. Can I have the movie now? Like, we don't need to do all of this. Right? So even in both of those cases, not adding up. Like, why is she in court with SH again? Like, she doesn't even have to use it as a cover. She could literally just take the document and be like, do you know what? I'm not even going to go for SH, even though that is the situation at hand. I got the legal document here that says that you basically did do X, Y, and Z, and you acknowledge that you did X, Y, and Z, you know, to a certain degree, right? And we can battle that out for why you signed that. And I can get the rights to that movie now. Thank you. Thank you. This is what I'm thinking. You're going to go to court. Like, she's a sensible girl. Nobody's got money to waste, even if you've got millions and millions of pounds. You haven't got money or time to waste fighting nonsense. So you're not going to go to court on a SH charge to get the sequel that you could just get without even doing any of that. Make it make sense. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because to me, that doesn't make sense. But maybe I'm missing some bits. Tell me in the comments what I'm missing. Yeah, that's it. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the video, and let me know your thoughts. Next one, the bullying. I want you to watch this because apparently Ryan Reynolds is bullying, blatantly bullying, according to Candace, with his scene from Deadpool. So we're going to watch the scene from Deadpool and see how disgusting it was and how outrageously bullying it was. Right? This. Bear in mind, this was filmed before this came out. Before the complaint, before this was... So this was clearly written as an out, because they were never going to talk about it, right? So this was obviously written as an outward expression, a way of being like, you know what? Yeah, he took the piss, but you know what? We're going to take the lighthearted side of it, and we're just going to make it into creative art. People do it all the time. They do it with comedy, they do it with writing, they do it with films. He's doing it with the scripts situation. I don't understand what's so hard about that. He doesn't mention any names. Since when did bullying have no target with no name that nobody knows about? Right? Because remember, no one would have known about this had they not released the thing because they had to. This is the way that I'm interpreting it, right? Because he was retaliating. So again, no one would have known. So bear that in mind when you watch this, and no one knows, because I want you to have that in your head when you're watching this. I want you to then explain how this is bullying.
Oh, I'm dead.
This is the scene that everybody's talking about. Oh my God, it's blatant. Let's listen.
Who are you? Oh, I'm Deadpool. And I guess you're Deadpool too. But in here, everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait till you see Lady Pool. She is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist, right?
So this is the bullying. This is the bullying tactic. Guys, tell me in the comments your thoughts. Because I think, again, it's just, we're grasping. We are reaching. We're reaching for the stars at this point. We are reaching for the stars at this point. Anything is being taken and twisted and made into something whereby, see, he's a mean person because he said this in a movie that doesn't mention him at all when no one was supposed to know about it anyway. It's crazy to me. I'll send it to you via threads. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. The video. Thank you. I will look that up. Maybe do another video about it. Right. So that to me, that's ridiculous. I'm just like, huh? This is so covert. It's just non-existent at this point. It is so covert. It's literally non-existent, especially if this complaint wasn't here. You wouldn't be like, oh my God, he's talking about baloney. Definitely. And it ends with us. You can just tell it's blatant. Come on now, guys. Let's be for real. Let's be all the way for real. So anyway, yeah, let's keep the next point. She says, this is just a blatant lie. In her video, Candace says that she declined an intimacy coordinator. No, she didn't. She did not. She did not decline an intimacy coordinator. She said that she didn't want to meet them outside of the hours of work because A, it wasn't necessary, and B, it wasn't necessary. That's the situation. It wasn't necessary. The coordinator's supposed to be on set oversee the scene, make sure everything's going according to what it's supposed to be going, making sure boundaries aren't being crossed, X, Y, and Z. That's what the intimacy coordinator is supposed to come up with, ways in which things can be done in a safeguarding way, right? The fact that there was no intimacy coordinator present in the leaked footage that he says wasn't sexually harassing at all is already questionable, right? I don't understand why you sent that to us, Baldoni. Because, like, as a regulation, there should have been an intimacy coordinator there. So there was no intimacy coordinator and there was no script. So again, highly inappropriate. You showing us the footage and being like, oh my God, it wasn't what you think, that's not, we need the whole context. And with the whole context, highly inappropriate, my friend. Highly inappropriate. Hi, Cindy. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So here, and B, she didn't actually decline it anyway. She said she'll see them on set when they start filming. Not the same thing. But out of Candace's mouth herself, she says she declined an intimacy coordinator. Like, what? I thought you were all about the facts. So why am I hearing like nonsense coming out of your mouth for millions to watch? Blatant lie. It's a lie. So you're even going to go as far as lying to support Mr. Baldoni. Okay. Guys, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How much time have we got? We're just over an hour. We're gonna wrap this up really soon. Yes, he's the boss. There was no reason for the intimacy not to be there because she didn't. Exactly. There's no reason. And he was like, oh no. And then I had to run it by her myself. You didn't have to run it by her yourself. You could have had the intimacy coordinator run it by both of you during the scene like you're supposed to on the job. You didn't have to run it by her. That was not your job. That was the intimacy coordinator's job, actually. So again, inappropriate. But yeah, anyway, then they say she took over the movie. She took over the movie. She took over the movie. And I'm like, okay. So again, back to the audio where he's like, oh my God, I just want every part of you, when his love bombing thing was going on, right? So she's like, great, we're doing this together. We're a team effort. We're going to do it together. I'm going to put in my bit. I'm going to do my best, like you do when you want to do your best, right? She's doing all this extra. And he's like, yeah, we're a team. And now it's not a team. Now it's you took over. This is how I'm seeing this. So all the extra she was doing with fashion design and this and that and being like, hey, Mr. Baldoni, I reckon we need to do this because this is more feminine. And he's like, yeah, go girl, yeah. And now he's like, yeah, no, she took over. I was a victim. I was just totally being bullied. I was being bullied. Oh my God, I just let her get away with it all because I don't know. Because of a consequence I can't think of right now, but because Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. Ridiculous. Anyway, so basically she did some extra things. I'm not saying she didn't do any extra things, but I would assume based on the message that he was just gushing over that he was giving her the green light to do those things. He was giving her the green light to do those things until he wasn't, which was now. Because remember, even in her suit, she did say, oh, after, or I think it was Baldoni's, where he pointed out that she said at the end of filming, I think it was the end of, I don't even know. He didn't put a date on it. He didn't actually put a date on it. He said that, and I had to deduce that it was at the end of filming. I did a video on that anyway, where he said that basically she herself said that there were no complaints after the signatures were done and the document, after the legal document, filming was fine, right? So from that, I'm deducing that he was making nice and being the perfect gentleman in the situation, right? Which has turned into him being the victim and her basically taking over. And the bit about, you know, her final cut and this, that, and the third, it's like, she's a producer. Isn't that what they do? Like, isn't that part of their job title? Like she was operating within her job title as a producer to fight for an ending to the movie. He acquiesced, and that doesn't mean that she was a producer. Isn't that their job? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I understood that to be. Right? That's where you have the producer's cut and then the director's cut and all of that stuff, because they're often conflicting about stuff like that. And she was like, everyone's acting like she was just this actress that came along and was just like, I'm going to do this, that, and like she was the producer of the movie. So that would fall under her title. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Again, he's the boss. So if he took over, that's his mismanagement. Again, as well, there's that. But no. But I'm awake. That's not the point, though, because he's a victim. You know, he was bullied. He's bullied into doing it. The consequences for not doing it aren't there, but he was bullied. Yeah. Yeah. The consequences for not doing it. Okay, let's just say the consequences were really severe. They were so severe, because Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift could halt his career completely, and it's just such a bad thing. But now he's not worried about it. Now he's suing them for $400 million because they're so powerful and they can halt his career. Okay, you go, my friend. Make it make sense somehow, some way. Let's keep going. So for me, I'm just like, did she really take over the movie? I just, knowing how toxic narcissists and abusers work, it's a gray area for me, especially as she had the role as a producer anyway. It's a gray area for me. Next one, last one. I think this is the last one. Is this the last one? Yes, the last one. Right, this one, which I found the most outrageous, because now she's using target against target. So what she basically said here, Candace said here, is that Blake didn't believe Woody Allen's daughter. And the reason she said Blake didn't, I just can't even believe she gets away with this. Like, how did you put this together with a straight face? The reason she says that Blake didn't believe Woody Allen's daughter is because she said in a paper that Woody Allen was very empowering. And then in Candace's video, she ran the track of Woody Allen's daughter talking about what he did to her. Blatant emotive manipulation. Using survivors to manipulate against another person who says they've been attacked in order for us to take sides, to be like, well, yeah, survivor number one definitely was a survivor, and we don't believe you, Blake, and you didn't believe her, so why should we believe you? Like, what? And her reason for saying that Blake didn't believe the daughter was because she said that Woody Allen was very empowering. Have you met an abuser, like, at all in your life? Two things can be true. I'm sure he is very empowering. Does that mean I don't believe the daughter either? Like, let's get real. Two things can be true, especially when it comes to the narcissistic and abusive type. Woody Allen's very empowering. Mr. Baldoni's like very sensitive. Whatever you want to say, like whatever mask they're wearing, I'm sure that is the case. And her saying that was, it doesn't mean that she doesn't believe her. That's insane to me. Like, how did you connect that dot? She was with the press. She said something positive about the man. Who hasn't said something positive about Woody Allen at some point in that Hollywood space? Does that mean none of them believed her? Or are we just going for this one right here? Crazy to me. I don't even know, that should be, that kind of talk should be illegal. That kind of not connecting the dots should be illegal. Like, you should be automatically banned on YouTube when you start this nonsense. Like, you should, as soon as you start saying stuff that doesn't connect to this degree, there should be a strike and you should be taken out of the game. Because, like, what is happening? Woody Allen is very empowering. Means, equates to, I don't believe his daughter. Somehow. She worked with Woody Allen on the set of something and said he was very empowering. Again, we're taking things out of context and making it mean whatever we want it to mean so we can villainize this woman. And that is what I don't like. Let's stick to the facts, yeah? If you have facts to bring, let's bring the facts and let's talk about it. But let's not do this, oh, well, and just start lying and misrepresenting things so that, you know, Mr. Baldoni can come up as the victim in the situation. That's, no. And that's why I had to do this live, because no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. If you got a point to make your point. Yeah, the Woody Allen thing isn't great, but she isn't the first actress to work. Exactly. I just think, like, we're talking about Hollywood. We all have humans and gray people. We have complexities. That is true. And also, especially when it comes to dealing with an abusive, narcissistic, or abusive type. They are very nice. They are very charming. Some of them can be very generous. Does that mean, if I say that a narcissist was generous one time, does that mean that I don't believe, especially in that space where if you don't say the right thing with a powerful person, an actual powerful person within the scene, then it's not, yeah, it's not going to work out for you within the film industry. Like, you can't go around going Woody Allen's perpetrator until it's trendy. You know, when it's trendy, you can come out and say whatever you want. But until then, you can't do that. That's the unsaid rule in Hollywood. Let's not pretend it's not there. So true, Woody Allen was very powerful at the time she was working with. Exactly. Again, we're taking these things out of context and being like, why would she do that? Like, we're acting dumb right now. Come on, the guy he had his foot in everything. He could finish her whole family if he wanted to. Like, she can't come out here just talking all reckless, right? Not so much now. Exactly. He can't do it now. He's done. It became not popular. It wasn't cool anymore. Like I said, tides change. And if you get on the right tide, then that's great. All the people coming out to talk about him now weren't saying anything at the time it wasn't trendy. All right? They all knew. They weren't saying anything either. They were all like, yeah, he's this. All of them. Harvey, same thing. All of them. So many people knew. Did they say something? No. Until it was trendy. And then it was like, yeah, Harvey Weinstein, this, that, and the third. Like, where was that voice? Where was that voice when it wasn't trendy? It wasn't there. So let's not pretend like she was the only one doing this. And let's put things in context. If we're going to talk about it, let's at least just take it back and put it back into context, and let's not act like she just did it last week. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, she just came up to him last, you know, you're great. Let's not. Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. And that's the conclusion for me. The conclusion is Candace can be found blatantly being a mouthpiece and defender of perpetrators. I didn't want to say always, because, you know, I don't even follow her that much. But every time I've heard her speak, it's been this perpetrator, apology, defender nonsense. Every time I've seen her speak. No, actually, that's a lie. She did speak about gender stuff before that. But even, yeah, she did talk about that before that, but that wasn't really related. But my point is, every time I've heard her speak about perpetrator type stuff, it's always been, she's never been defending the person. Now, interestingly enough, in this situation, she does defend Woody Allen's daughter, but only to attack the present and current person who's allegedly been targeted. Interesting, don't you think? So like now she's for, like, you know, supporting, but not this one. We're going to support the old one that's not relevant to the point the person speaking up right now. No, we're going to use that person to attack this person and silence this person speaking right now, which is pretty much the same thing, don't you think? Thank you for the breakdown. I was only able to catch the end. Will this be available to watch later? It might be. I will leave it up for a little while, but what I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to like chop it up and make it main feed content. So if it's not here, it'll be in the main feed moving forward. Guys, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Replay viewers, that also applies to you. Thumbs up. Give me your thoughts. Let's make this a discussion. Please keep it respectful, though. We don't need to. And also, with other people leaving comments, don't get in there attacking them and calling them all kinds of names because you can't defend your argument. Like, the argument is the argument. We're attacking the argument, not the people. Okay? Attacking people because you can't make a point is actually just nonsensical, toxic stuff. All right, so we don't want that over here. So make your point, argue your point. Okay, let's keep it peaceful. Guys, give this a thumbs up, and yeah, again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. No pressure, no pressure taken at all. I hope you will come for the next live next week, same time. We'll be talking about something else related to social media, viral, whatever, and toxic, narcissistic, and abusive dynamics. We're all here to learn, grow, and develop our critical thinking skills, hopefully, okay? Okay, so that's it from me. Until next time, live boldly, live empowered, live from the inside out. Bye for now.
What's love and all of the above, but you want to suffer. Trauma